We'll discuss today about the MMFI integration. Okay, so MM is one of the model that is a material management. FI means that is a financial accounting model. So it is also one of the functional module in SAP. So MM means material management. So you know different topics in MM and what is the use of MM also. We know what are the roles and responsibilities of MM consultant and what is the use of SAP MM in a business process. In the similar way, we have FI module also, that means financial accounting. Okay, so whenever you are doing a goods receipt, so while doing a goods receipt, the system will generate a both material document and your accounting document. Okay, so in the accounting document, if you see there are accounts will generate, a GL accounts will trigger. For example, if you are posting an inventory, if you are receiving a material, so the material is adding in your inventory. Okay, so here the inventory posting will be taken. So one GL account will trigger. So these GL account will store the price of your material. Okay, how much you are paying to the vendor. So that is GRIR clearing account. So you need to pay to your vendor. Okay, so for this GRIR account, so the price will be stored in another GL account. Okay, like this. So each and everything. So whatever the price changes are there, the each and every price changes will be stored in a separate GL accounts. Okay, so that is how the MM and FI are integrating. So when you are doing a goods receipt, so what on not only the goods receipt, when you do your invoice verification or a goods receipt, or when you are converting, when you are transferring your stock from your plant to the customer. So when all these movements, okay, the price changes will be taken place. So whenever there is a price changes, these MMFI integration will involve. Okay, so that is about your MMFI integration topic. So we'll discuss each and everything. So mostly while posting a goods receipt, we can see many errors related to MMFI integration part. Yeah, so this topic we call it as a automatic account determination also. Okay, so either we call it as MMFI integration
Screen not visible,
or
madam.
automatic account determination. Huh? So you can see right now. So this is about your automatic account determination. So first before going to the MMFI integration, first we'll go through the what is a price control. So what are the different types of prices we have? So already we had discussed in the material master what are the different types of prices we have. Okay. So because of this price control also we will have a separate GL accounts and separate transaction keys. So for example, if you maintain your price control as a for example, if you go for any material master, so select your accounting view. So in the accounting view where you will maintain your price control and price. Okay, so this is your valuation class and this is the price of the material and this is your standard price. Okay, so if you maintain your price control as a standard price, so system will only, so it values your standard price only. Okay, so either if you gave your moving average, so it values your standard price. So here the price control is a two price controls are there. One is a moving average and one is a standard price. Another one is moving average price. For example, if I give the standard price is 100 rupees and the moving average price is 100 rupees, for example. Okay, so I created a purchase order. There is a one material is there. So I created a purchase order. Okay, in the purchase order, okay, so I created a PO so that the purchase actually the price was increased. So the price was not 100 rupees now. So according to the market, the price was increased to 120. So if it is a moving average price, okay, so automatically it will convert these 120 rupees in your material master. So whenever there are changes in your purchase order, so automatically that change will trigger in your material master also. Okay, that is your moving average price. So according to the market demand, the price it will update. Okay, if you change in the purchase order, automatically the price will change in your material master. So the price will convert in your material master as a 120. But standard price is not like that. It will not convert. Okay, whether the price is increasing or decreasing, the standard price is a constant. So when you are posting a goods, is it? When you're posting a goods, is it? So definitely there is a difference between your material price and your purchase order price. Okay, the difference of 20 rupees are there here. Okay, so these 20 rupees will be posted in a separate account. So there is a PRD account will be there, price difference account. So whenever you are using a standard price, so a PRD account will trigger, price difference account will trigger. So it will have one GL account. So in this the 20 rupees will be stored. Okay, the difference between your purchase order price and your standard price, the difference will be stored in a separate GL account. Okay, that GL account will be triggered based on your PRD. PRD is nothing but a one transaction key. I will tell you what is a transaction key also. Okay, so these 20 rupees will be stored in a separate GL account. But the standard price value will not be changed because of changes in the purchase order. Okay, so this is about your price control. So this price control also has a link with your MMFI integration. I will tell you how it links with your MMFI integration. So before doing an MMFI integration, first of all you need to know what is a price control and what is the use of difference between your standard and a moving average. Okay, so this is one of the prerequisite we need to know. And so before starting your MMFI integration configuration, you need to make sure your validation area should be your plant. So whether the validation level is a plant or not. So already we had discussed it and we had made it the validation area is a plant only. Okay, so where you will see this validation area is a plant or a company code. So when we discuss it, the enterprise structure, we had discussed this validation area part. So go for the enterprise structure, go for definition, logistics general. Here define a validation level. So here you can see the validation area can be a plant or a company code. So generally 99% SAP always suggests to give your validation area is a plant only. Okay. So the difference between your validation area of company code and a plant, for example, so your company code is Bata. You have one plant in Hyderabad and other plant in Chennai. So like this, you have different plants. Okay. For example, in Hyderabad, maybe the price can be 300. Okay. Chennai it could be or 280 rupees, for example. Okay, so there are different, so various location, the price is going to vary. Not the, you cannot say the price is constant in each and every location. Okay, so according to you, the location, the price can increase or decrease. So if you maintain your validation area is a company code, so you cannot have a different prices in a different plants. So you need to maintain your price should be same in all your validation areas. because under the company code, because the valuation area is a company code there, not your plant. Okay, so for all these plants, the price should be same. Under this company code, whatever the plants are there, so the price is similar for all your valuation areas. Okay, so like this. So that is why so many of your global clients will have a different plants in different areas. So sometimes you can have in different locations and different countries also. So you cannot maintain a same price for a two valuation areas. Okay, that is why you will maintain your valuation area is a plant only. So you can maintain a company code, but is based on your business requirement. Okay, but mostly we will maintain the valuation area is a plant only. So you need to check whether your valuation area is a plant or a company code. Okay, that is just a prerequisite. So just you will see here after doing your enterprise structure, you cannot configure this one. So it will be in a disable mode. Okay, when it is a fresh system, when you are doing a implementation project only, you can edit this. Otherwise, you cannot edit this valuation area also. Okay, so here the valuation area is our plant only. So and next we will go for our. So how these GL accounts has a link with the goods is it? Okay. So how your material price and how your material price and how your goods is it has a link with your GL account, we will see how how the integration is taking place between the MM and FI topic. Okay, so this is the link between your material and GL account. So if you see the material, so in this material, in the accounting view, okay, in the accounting view of your material master, you will give your valuation class. Right. So for example, if your material type is ROH, raw material, then your valuation class is 3000. So if your material type is semi-finished or services material, okay, or services. Maybe it can be a different one, 3200 or something. Okay, so like this you will have a different, so based on the material type, the valuation class will be triggered. Okay, so based on the material type, the valuation class will trigger. Okay, so already SAP had defined some of the standard valuation classes for material types. So if it is a finished good, you have different valuation class. If it is a service material type, so based on the material type, the valuation classes are there. Okay, so when you are creating a material, so you need to give your valuation class. Okay, so these valuation class has link with your GL accounts. Okay, so based on your material standard price or moving average price, so you will assign your material to the valuation class. So this valuation class has link with your GL account. So this is how the relation between your material and GL accounts. Okay. And next about a movement type. So coming to our valuation area, coming to your valuation area or your plant. So here you have your valuation area. In the MMF integration, there is a valuation grouping code concept is there. So valuation code is nothing but a group of valuation areas. For example, you have a two plants. For example, you have a two plants. So for these two plants, you wanted to trigger the same GL accounts. Okay, so then you will group together these two plants and you will assign a same valuation grouping code. Valuation grouping code is nothing but a group of plants. Okay. So for example, if you want a same GL accounts for a two different plants, so you can use a valuation grouping code. Okay, you can use a same valuation grouping code for the two plants so that the same GL accounts will trigger. So this is how the valuation grouping code has a link with the general ledger accounts. Okay, so here there is a valuation class. Here there is a link between your valuation class and GL account, your valuation grouping code and your GL accounts. Okay, so this is how the link between your plant and your material with a GL accounts. But how the movement type? For example, I am doing a goods receipt. So for a goods receipt, the GL accounts will trigger differently. For goods issue, the GL accounts will trigger differently. Okay. So according to the movement type, the GL accounts will change. So the GL accounts has a link with your movement type also. Okay, so for example, your movement type is 101, the separate GL account will trigger. So if your movement type is 201, a different GL account will trigger. Okay, so according to your movement type, the movement type has link with your transaction event keys. Yeah, theoretically I'm explaining, so practically we'll see how the link between your movement type and the account grouping code also. So if you're doing a movement type, so in this movement type also there are different variations are there. If you use 101 movement type, that is a goods receipt against your GR against a purchase order. So even you can use a 101 movement type GR against your production order also. Against production order also you can use the same movement type. Okay, so if you want a different Okay, if you want a different GL accounts, so even though the movement type is same, but the movement indicator is different here. Here you are doing against your purchase order, here you are doing against your production order. Okay, so you want a different GL account for this 101, for this 101. So that is also possible. That we call it as a movement indicator. Based on the movement indicator also, you can have the different GL accounts. Okay, so here the valuation class has link with the GL accounts and your valuation grouping code has link with GL accounts and your account grouping code has link with your GL accounts. Okay. So like this there is a each and every material or a plant or your movement type has a link with your GL accounts. So we'll see how to configure now the valuation grouping code and how there is a link between your GL accounts and valuation class. So we will see the configuration. Okay. Okay, so first before starting your configuration, so first of all you can create your valuation grouping code. So go to the configuration part. So SPRO, you will go for the IMG, go for the material management. So go for SPRO, go for IMG, and then so it is configuration only. So go to the material management. Okay, so here you will not go for purchasing because it is not belong to the purchasing topic. It is a MMF integration. So go to valuation and account assignment. Okay, account determination. So as MMF integration, we call it as a automatic account determination. Go to the account determination. So there are two types are there, wizard and without wizard. So in this wizard, it will ask you the multiple questions. So based on these questions, so these are the some of the questions it will ask. So based on your answers, it will assign the particular GL account to your particular valuation area or or particular movement type. So based on your answers, it will assign automatically. Okay, so if you want to assign manually, so you can configure in a account determination without wizard. Yeah, so this is a configuration part for MMFI integration. So it is a very important topic. Okay, so first go for your valuation control. Define valuation control. So first of all, before creating your valuation grouping code, you need to activate your valuation grouping code. Okay. Activate your valuation grouping code. So I told you what is a valuation grouping code. So valuation grouping code is nothing but a group of valuation areas. So if you want same GL accounts to trigger for different plans, so you can assign same valuation grouping code to different plans. And next go for group together valuation areas. Yes. So for example, this is the plant. So 001 is your valuation grouping code. Okay, so you can assign the 001 to different plants. So different plants and different company code also you can assign your valuation grouping code. Okay. So here you need to have your valuation area. You need to search for your valuation area. So if you created any new valuation area, you can find your valuation area here and you need to assign your valuation grouping code. Okay. So what are the valuation group you assigned? So you need to give your valuation grouping code. Okay, like this you need to assign your value. So valuation grouping code you will not create before. So whatever the 4-digit number or 4-digit characteristic you will take, alphanumeric also it will take or numeric also it will take. So you can give your valuation grouping code for your valuation area. So if you want same GL accounts to trigger for two different plans. So for example, for AM01, for AM02, you want to trigger the same GL account. Then you can give the same validation grouping code to two different plans and you will save. Okay, like this you will assign your validation grouping code. So here the validation area is assigned to the company code. The company code it will be assigned to the chart of account. Chart of accounts is nothing but a group of GL accounts. Okay, so the FI it is a FI configuration where they will assign a chart of accounts to the company code. So one company code, so company code needs to be assigned to a chart of accounts. Okay, chart of accounts is nothing but a group of GL accounts. So you will assign your valuation grouping code to your valuation area. So here you assigned your valuation grouping code to valuation area. Okay, next we will see the valuation classes. So if you want to create a new valuation class, so 3000 is one of the valuation class. Like that, you have 3200 is one of the valuation class. Okay. So a standard valuation class are there, but if you want to create, okay, okay, if you want to create a new valuation class also, you can create a new valuation class. So go to the define valuation classes. Okay, so this is the important configuration. So this is how the link between your validation class and a GL account. So there is no link between your validation class and GL account. Okay, so always, yeah, so there is a link between your validation class and GL account, but your material type and validation class will not have a direct link. Okay, so based on your material type only, you will assign your validation class, right? If it is ROH, you will assign 3000. So like this, based on material type, the validation class you need to assign. But there is no direct link between your material type and valuation class. So here, who is going to assign your valuation class and your material type? So that is your account assignment. So account category reference. Account category reference is like a bridge. It is like a bridge between your material type and your valuation class. So it is assigning your valuation class and your material type. Okay, so it is a bridge between your material type and your valuation class. So if you want to trigger the, for example, so ROH material type is there. So ZROH material type is there. Or else some ZRAW material type is there. Okay, for example, you want same GL accounts. For example, for these three material types, you want same GL accounts to trigger. Okay, so for these three material types, you want same GL accounts. So how can you do? It is possible with the account category reference. So you will assign a same account category reference for the three material types. Okay. Yeah. So this account category reference is the one which assigns your material type and a valuation class. So we will see. So go to the account category reference. So if you want to create a new account category reference, you can create here. So go to the new entries, create a new account category reference. So 7890. So I created a new account category reference. Okay, and then these account category reference you will assign to your valuation class and you will assign to your material type. So go to the valuation class. You need to assign your valuation class and account category reference here. For example, you want to create a new valuation class also, you can create. So go to the new entries. So you want to create a new valuation class 7890. Okay, and your account category reference is also 7890. So I assigned my valuation class and account category reference. So the same way you need to assign your material type and your account category reference. So here the material type I want to take is a, so you cannot create a new material type here. So whatever the old material types are there, you need to assign for your account category reference. For example, I will take so here, yeah, here the ZRAW is there. Okay, so for this ZRAW, I want to take my account category reference as a 7890. Okay. So automatically the valuation class 7890 is assigning to this ZRAW. So when you're creating a material with ZRAW, you need to give your valuation class as a 7890 because 7890 valuation class is assigned to this account category reference. Okay, like this you can change for your other material type also. So for multiple material types also you can change. For example, I can change to this 7890. Okay, like this you will assign your material type and account category reference and then save. Okay. So like this you will create. So that is your assignment between your valuation class and a material type. So this account category reference is linking your material type and a valuation class. Okay. Okay, so this is about your, so if you want to create a new valuation class or account category reference, so this is how you will create a new thing. Okay, so this is how you will create your new new valuation class and a new account category reference you will create with this configuration. Okay. Yes, so this is the link between your valuation class, your account category reference, and your material type. So next is your movement type. So account grouping for, so how this movement type has a GL account. So how to assign, for example, if you created any new movement type, if you created any new moment type, how that new moment type you need to configure, how that new moment type you need to assign for the particular transaction event key. So go to the configuration, define account grouping for moment types. Okay, so this is a assignment between your, so if you go to the detail, you can see the moment type will be assigned to the value string. Okay, and then it will assign to your transaction event key. Okay, so this is your transaction event key. So these transaction event keys, so each and everything has a one transaction event key. So BSX, KBX, like this you can, so separate accounts will be there. So you can see the, so different moment types. So all the moment types has a separate transaction event key. So if you go for 201 moment type, so in the position search for 201. So that is for goods issue, right? So if you go for the details, you can see the value string, and these are the accounts will trigger. So whenever you are doing a goods issue with this 201 moment type, so these are the transaction event keys will trigger. So these transaction event keys will have a assignment with your GL accounts. Okay, so based on this transaction event key only, the GL account will trigger. So the transaction event key will be, okay, so based on this transaction event key, a separate account will trigger. So if it is a consignment payables, a separate GL account will trigger. If it is a purchase account, the separate GL account will trigger. So based on this transaction event key, a separate account will trigger. Okay, so each and every transaction event key for your separate accounts, I will tell you. So if you go for the 101, see, this is for a account assignment category purchase orders. So if you are creating a GR against a purchase order which has account assignment category, then you will have this transaction event key, account assigned purchase order and GRIR clearing account. So like this. So you can see the BSX also. So if you see the PRD also, you can see here. So for example, you had done the goods receipt for the project stock. So goods receipt against a other document. Then you will have your inventory posting. So if you maintain your material as a standard price, so the price difference account is there. Okay. So your material price is, so here the material price is 100 rupees. So that 100 rupees it will post in the BSX inventory posting. So inventory posting. So this 100 rupees, like some quantity were added. So 100 rupees, it is a material price. So the material price will be stored in the inventory posting. Okay. So for example, this is your material standard price. So actually the purchase order price is 120 rupees. So you need to pay 120 rupees to the vendor. So it will be posted in the WRX, GRIR clearing account. So the remaining 20 rupees it will post in the PRD account, price difference account. Okay, like this each and every transaction has a separate transaction event key. Okay, so in this transaction event keys, because of this transaction event key, the different GL account will be there. So the price will be stored in that separate GL account. Like how much you're paying to the vendor, how much the material price is. So everything will be stored in the separate GL account through this transaction event key. Okay, so if you want to add any movement type or if you want to change also, you can change here. So this movement type so this is your movement type and next is your special stock. So if it is a special procurement, then you can use your special stock. Okay, so the value string is the one which helps you to, so it is the assignment between your GL account and how to post GL accounts, it will take care. So this is your transaction event key. So even this transaction event key is also different types will be there. So if you create a goods receipt against a purchase order or purchase or a production order, okay, even in the different transaction event keys also there are different accounts will be there. Okay, so in that case the account modifiers will use. So I'll give you an example. So even this GBB is a offsetting entry, or else we'll go for so even the movement indicator is also important. See, there are different movement indicators are there. So goods movement without a reference for purchase order, for production order. So even though the movement type is same, sometimes the indicator, whatever the reference document is different. So that you will call it as a movement indicator. Okay, even if you take the KBS is one of the transaction event key. So this KBS also you will have different modifiers. There are separate transactions you will use. Okay, so for one transaction event, you can have the different account modifiers. So here if you see the one transaction event key, KDM, so it has two different account modifiers. So it is a ERA. So for this, it will trigger the account assigned WRX and account assigned one. So if you go for this ERN, so it will trigger the different accounts. Okay, so based on the account modifier also, it will trigger the different transaction event keys. So even though the transaction event key is different, sometimes it will vary. Sometimes your value string is vary, sometimes your special stock can vary. Okay, in that cases, the GL accounts might be changed, even though it is a new moment type also. So that is your account modifier. Okay, so we'll see what is the link between all this account grouping. So go to the last one. This is the important configuration. So OBYC, always I will say OBYC, right? So this OBYC you can see here, automatic postings. So cancel, go to the account assignment. Yes, here you need to select your transaction event key. So I'm going for so this is your transaction event key, BSX. So select this chart of accounts INT. Yes, so this is your valuation grouping code. Okay, so valuation modifier, like so that is your valuation grouping code. So you can give your so your valuation class and give your GL account as a 3000. Okay, like this you can assign your valuation grouping code, your valuation class and your GL account. So this is the link between your valuation grouping code, valuation class and a GL account. Okay, so based on the transaction event key. So it is a account grouping. You will call this one as a account grouping. So this is how the chart of account transaction event key means account grouping. This is how there is a link between your account grouping, your valuation grouping and your valuation class with a GL account. Okay, and then save. So this is how you will assign your valuation grouping code, valuation class and a GL account. Okay. So it is an important combination, that is OBYC account grouping and then your automatic posting. So OBYC is the last transaction code where you will do your account grouping for moment types. So you understood, right? What is the how you are assigning your validation class, validation grouping code and account grouping to the GL account. So in the OBYC, the final transaction has a link between the GL account. Okay. So this is your MMFI